you.
Take number 5. Hi everybody, I'm KK.
I'm Kristen.
And together we are K&K Crochet, and we're getting through this one with or without. So you might get some really bad bloopers, but it's not going to be going again. I'm done. We've had all kinds of interruptions. We've had everything going on. There was fire tones dropped and running out the door. Yeah, I'm good. We're here. We're done. So,
Take 5.
We've got a challenge, a super duper challenge, and it's for you. You. Yes, you. If you're watching, it's for you.
Where do I go through these?
So first of all, we're going to show finished objects, and these are for Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, and we're going to talk about what that is later, and then we're going to tell you what our challenge is. So, this is a hat, basic hat. It is 10 double crochet in the first, in a magic ring, and then basic increases up to 60 stitches, and then just basic double crochet until I got far enough down that I wanted it to be, and then front post, back post, double crochet to make a brim. This is Red Heart, I think gray. It's a scrap. I don't know what it is. And Red Heart soft navy. And so there's that one. And then there's this one. This is Red Heart carrot, and this is a herringbone half double crochet. 10 of those in a magic ring, and then increase so you have 60, and then let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows of half double herringbone half double crochet, and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of double crochet, and then front post, back post double crochet for I think I said 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And there's not a pattern, it's just what I did. So herringbone half double crochet. Excuse me. I'm not editing. Done.
We're done.
Anyway, herringbone half double crochet. It is do your normal. Yarn over, go through the loop. I should show it. Yarn over, go through the guys. I'm not editing. I'm not. I don't care.
Not.
Not. So it is just a basic half double crochet like you would normally do, except for when you go to, what are you doing?
I was trying to hold it.
I'm not editing. Don't do that.
I know. I was trying to fix the way you get the yarn.
I'm not doing it. You do a basic half double crochet. Yarn over. You stick your hook through the stitch. Pull up a loop. But instead of going through and finishing a half double crochet by yarning over and going through all 3 loops, you take that 3rd loop on your hook and bring it through the 2nd loop. And that gives you 2 loops left. And then you yarn over and pull through 2. It is very finicky at first. I will not lie. Especially if you're working in a round. The first row of rounds is a pain. It is a pain. I'm not gonna lie. In a magic ring, if you're working and trying to do it. But once you do it, guys, listen, look. Look at this stitch. Is that not beautiful? It's like a slanted half double crochet, and it's so worth it, I promise, and it's so squishy. So Google herringbone half double crochet if you don't know how to do it. I found it through a pattern, and that's these hats. A lot of times you may say, well, they all look like this one. Yep, they pretty much do. With a change here and there or something I do. You're not going to see me do a lot of single crochet. It takes too long to do a hat like that. You're not going to see a lot of half double crochet, although I put extra effort into this. I really like this one a lot. I really wanted to do the whole hat in this because I thought that would be beautiful, but then I got this far down and it felt like I should have been this far down and I was done, and I'm glad I didn't do it all that way because I think it looks better this way, like a cap and then the ending. So I'm really tickled with it. My hats do look a lot alike. There are 600 hats that we are trying to make this year. We do not make them all. Other people donate as well. But whatever I'm able to donate, I do not want to spend my time, you know,
one hat when she could have done 2 in that time span.
I don't want to spend my time trying to do little tiny stitches, and I don't want to spend my time trying to do 15 different hats when if I do 2 or 3 hats, I can get twice as many out. Does that make sense? Now, I do go lots of times and pull patterns that are new when I get tired of doing, like this came from another pattern I'd worked on for something that wasn't even a hat, this stitch. So I threw it into my hat this time, right? And I probably won't do another one like that because it took me twice as long to do this as it would to do the whole hat. It's not going to happen again. It's beautiful, but I'm not doing it. Like if I get bored, I might throw it in a couple of rows here and there. But I have to move quickly enough to, I want my time to be important and to be used importantly. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. I want to use my time in a wise way. Thank you. A wise one. And that way I can get through and make more. Am I going to make 600 hats? No.
Ain't no way. We cannot do that.
You know, but I can be the voice to encourage other people to help us get to that point, right?
Yep.
So, one other hat, there's this one, and this is Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, but it is dedicated to a certain little boy who was sick for a couple of years really bad, and his aunt, I threw hats out, and he was not there, and so I wanted him to have one specifically. I've wanted to make something for him. So I asked her his favorite color, and it's blue. So this is Red Heart Soft Navy, and I had one left over from last year that I saved for him, but we were never able to reach up and reach out to her to get it to her. But then I wanted to make one specifically that I had made for him. So this I made for him, and it's going to him, and hopefully boost his mood and his spirits a little bit. So why do we make hats? Well, we created an outreach last year, but we started actually 2 years ago in memory of my brother. My brother was a Baptist minister for 53 years, or not 53 years, 30 years, but he was 53 years old. There were issues going on in his life that we were not aware of until he chose his last day on earth. And when I got that news, it crushed my soul. And I had to do something. I knew I had to do something to make it beneficial for others. I knew that I had to make his voice heard. And we were not aware that there were mental issues going on. We were not aware that there were other issues going on. And I did find out about some of those issues the night before, but I still was not aware that there were mental health issues going on, that he was struggling. And I should have been aware because I've struggled, so I should have known, right? But he just was very private. And so I say all that to say, speak out. I don't care how private you are. I don't care how much you don't want somebody to know your business. If that is what is on your mind, open your mouth and speak out, please. Because you don't know. I say all the time, be kind. You don't know anybody else's journey. You don't know what kind of journey your family's going to have if that's the choice you make. So that's why we do Bumblebees Mountain Outreach. Number 1, to promote mental health awareness. Number 2, to promote kindness. Number 3, to be there for families who have gone through what we have gone through. Because I would have given anything at that moment to have somebody step in and say, I've been in your shoes. I know what you're going through. Let me help you walk this journey. It's taken me 7 years to be okay. Maybe 6 if you count the fact that we started this last year, like really started it. But it's taken me a while. And so I really need to be able to be a voice for families who are going through that. So this is a way to do random acts of kindness through crochet that help people know that we love them, we care for them even if we don't know them, and that things are going to be okay. It brings a smile to their face. It makes them ask why we do what we do, and it helps them to think twice about things, we hope. So in 2021, we decided 2 weeks before our local fireman's Christmas parade that we were going to do this. 75 hats, scarves, gloves, whatever were donated. We do have people who donate who do not do knit or crochet locally, and they donate hats and scarves or hats and gloves, and I'm fine with that because that helps with the male population. Sometimes we don't get as many hats for males as we do for kids and women, and so that helps balance that out, and that's a great way to do that. So this last year, 2022, we set a goal for 400. We reached the goal, and how many did we have?
400 and what was it?
74.
74.
Just checking to make sure she's on tap. Now that's not all that Bumblebees Mountain Outreach does, but it's what we're going to focus on. We also do a nursing home outreach where we donate blankets and toiletries and Christmas cards from people who want to send them in, and also socks. We have 130 residents in our county in nursing homes, and they each get a Christmas blessing bag that has that kind of stuff in it. That's what we do as well. We do it, they coincide about the same time. We also Christmas carol to those nursing homes and to a local facility that's kind of like, it's not assisted living, but it's just apartments where some of the elderly and the disabled people in our area live, because it's close to walking distance to their Kroger and that kind of thing. So those are the types of things we do. Bumblebees Mountain Outreach this year has a goal for 600 hats, scarves. We're just going to say hats. It's hats, scarves, gloves, whatever keep you warm, right? Headbands, whatever. So our challenge. Here's our challenge. We hope you've stuck around long enough to hear the why and the history behind it. And the reason we tell that again is because we've had people who we've talked to about doing this, and they said, it's very important to get that out there. So all in one video, everything comes together at you, and you don't have to go searching for information. So in our community, we take those, we need to tell you what we do with them. We take those hats and we hand them out. We throw them out at a Christmas parade in our area to those who are there. It's not based on need. It's not based on income. You just show up and you get a hat. It gets thrown out as best we can to the people that are on the road. And it's several miles that we go through the parade. We also last year took them to our local town and handed them out in parking lots and that type of thing. We have a outreach here called Loaves and Fishes, and they also give out food and that kind of thing to those in need. So their facility also benefited last year. We took those down so they could throw those in with it. And we have another community outreach here that helps children. They help teach children and teach parents how to teach their children and that kind of thing. So they're dealing in homes with young children, and they also do baby showers and that kind of thing for the community, so people can come in and get stuff that they need. And they do a hat drop once a year, and they had 0 donations last year. So we also donated to them so that they could have that. So that's what happens, and we would like this year to branch out in a couple of different directions. I have some things in mind. Maybe another community. I'll also have another organization that I would like to bless this year if we can get enough hats. And if we get more than 600, we'll do something else. We'll branch out. I will find somebody who needs them. Always, always, always. Somewhere along the way. And if it doesn't happen during this year, if I find out we've reached everybody we can reach, then somewhere along the way in the year I will find somewhere for everything else to go. No hat is ever thrown away. No hat is ever, just left to set forever. It will be handed out to somebody. I will find somebody who needs it along the way. Schools often need them for kids who don't have. So we will find a way to bless somebody. The challenge is we would like to have a hat, scarf, whatever, from every state in the United States and from as many countries as we can get. Now, we're going to challenge you all. And if you have a place you donate and you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. We are fine with that. Don't worry about it. But if you don't, or if you would like to help us, if you would like to send a hat or a scarf or whatever, something for Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, and put on there your state, what state you're representing. If you want to send more than one, that's fine. We're not going to say no, of course. But I'm saying, logistically speaking, as far as when it comes to sending, and mailing and the cost of shipping, one is much easier to slip into a padded envelope and mail than, 100. But you know what I'm saying, and we don't expect anybody to do that. We will reach our goal one way or another, and we always do. But we just thought this would be a fun challenge just to see how many places we can actually receive hats from. And of course, then on Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, we are going to let people know how many places across the world have chosen to join in and to bless our community. Our community is fairly small, but the need for mental health encouragement and that kind of thing, I think, is everywhere, right?
It's
and
never
so,
ending.
yeah, and so we just want to be that bright light that can stand up and say, "Hey, it's going to be okay," and that truly comes from a place of me being a Christian and wanting to share, wanting to encourage. I've always felt like I'm supposed to be an encourager. I felt that my whole life, and so I try very hard to do that. I don't know if I succeed in every area that I should, but I try very hard to be an encourager and to use the things I've been through to help other people get through the same situations. So that's my goal. And like I said, my brother was a pastor for 30 years, so I consider this an extension of his ministry, a way to help others and maybe to help their family and to help them look back and say, why is she doing this? Why is it so important? Why does her family step in and help do this? Because it's important. It's important. And it may not make sense to other people to link his ministry with crocheted hats. It doesn't have to make sense. It's about showing love in some fashion. It's about showing that you care about somebody. It's about taking care of our community in a way that we know it needs taken care of. So for me, that equals a mental health boost for people who get it. You should see these kids and the families who get them. They're ecstatic. I've even had people, we threw out little stuffed bears from the Dollar Tree last year and made the Loveys by Z from Zelda NRJ3 to go over top. And I've had people come back and they message me and say, my kid didn't get one of those. And I met them that night so that their kid could get one because I still had some. And then I've had people who the kids are carrying those, and they come into Kristen's work and she's like, did you get that? Yep. And the mom goes, did you all do that? I'm like, yeah. And it's not about recognition, it's about connection. It's about connection to people. And seeing that little kid who had that and he wouldn't let it go.
No.
He was
she said
tickled.
that he had it like months, and normally he has one for a couple weeks and loses it.
It was $1.
Or stops like playing
$1.25.
with it and throws it in a corner somewhere. She said he hadn't let that one go.
Yeah, it's $1.25. You know, and I think I bought like 20 or 30 of them. I don't know. It was a last minute thing to throw in because we always try to throw something out for the kids too besides the hats. Maybe not, we may not have enough for everybody, but we try to get as many as we can to throw out, you know. And so we made the little loveys, and the ones we didn't have time to make loveys for, the animals went out and they loved them. And so we've heard very good things. So our challenge is to you, if you would like to make a lovey, if you'd like to make a lovey and send it, that's fine too. I'm just saying. But if you'd like to make a hat to send to Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, we have a post office box listed in our description, usually on our About page. And we would welcome you to do so. If you want to make more than one, that's fine. But our challenge is to make at least one, and we'd like to see how many areas we can reach. And if we reach your area or your state or your country and you still want to send one anyway, because we'll put double tally marks for that so we can say. And it's just going to be a fun way for us to see what we can do, what kind of love we can show to our community, right? And we will reach 600 regardless, one way or another. I will make sure we do that. I never set a goal without knowing that we're going to reach it. I'll reach it one way or another. It's going to happen.
It's not just hats. It's everything.
Yep. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be that we're going to fail. We're going to succeed. This eventually, at some point in my life, I would like to be able to do a scholarship through Bumblebees Mountain Outreach that goes out to a local student who needs help. And I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. But it took me 6 years to start this. We did start in 2021, but that was just kind of a fly-by-night thing, something I decided to do, and at the last moment for the community. And then the next year as it came around and people asked if I was going to do it again, and I had stepped back from some other responsibilities, and I decided this was going to be the outreach. I knew from the get-go that I had to turn this around somehow for better, but I didn't know how I was going to do that. So it took me 6 years to get my head straight and figure out a way to reach others. And we've done a suicide walk in our community before through some other groups that I was affiliated with, and that was a big hit too. It was the first time. It was in 2019, and it was the first time I ever told my story publicly, which was very difficult, but it's gotten easier. And you see, as I'm talking to you guys, like, I haven't even given you 1/100th of the details I could give that I give other families to help them. But it became something that is a platform for me to be able to speak out to help others, and that's what I want to do. And my kids are involved, and my husband's involved, and we're very passionate about it. So Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, this is a long video, guys, but I'm trying to give you the whole scoop, and hopefully you've listened to it all so you understand how important it is to me and to our community. Some people may say, oh, it's just a hat. No, it's not. If you could see these kids' faces when they smile, if you could see the people that come out year after year, if you could see the faces of the people locally who donate, who want to make a difference, it's so much more than that. It goes way beyond a hat. It goes way beyond even donating hats. The people who are getting a hat, the people who donate hats benefit from this too. And we have such a good group who talk back and forth and communicate. And it's small. Our group here is small, but the small group here and a couple of other people from other places last year, 474 hats. Most of that was locally donated. I had a couple of states that were represented last year, but most of it was locally donated. If we can do 474 locally, think what can happen if we could get every state to donate one, or every country, or even if it was more than one, whatever. Think about the impact that might have. But Bumblebees Mountain Outreach is called that because When I was little, my grandfather's nickname for me was Honey Babe, which nobody uses anymore. It'd kind of be weird at this age, I think. And my grandfather's nickname for my brother was Bumblebee. And we owned a farm together, which was my grandfather's farm. My brother and I owned together. Now my son and I, my oldest, own it together. This is a whole nother story for another day, how that came to be. It wasn't pleasant. But we own a farm now, and it is on a mountaintop. And so it is called Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, because my brother loved that farm and he loved the mountains. And our family loves the mountains. So Bumblebees Mountain Outreach, we are based in the mountains of West Virginia. We are trying to make a difference. We are going to make a difference in the lives of other people. And we are determined that that's going to happen. And maybe it's through a hat, and maybe other people may not always understand that. But I promise you it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It makes a difference in my life because I feel like I'm making a difference for others. And I know this because when other people locally go through the same thing that I have been through, maybe not the exact same thing, but the same type of end of life, they reach out. They reach out for help. That's the goal. The goal is to keep that from happening if we can. But when we can't, the goal is absolutely to be 110% there for those families who are falling apart. Because that's what happens. That literally is what happens. So our goal is to reach out and let people know there are people here who care. We are here for you, whatever your situation. I've had a couple recently that the big thing now on Facebook is to put out this thing that says, if depression wins, just know I fought like whatever. And I'm like, no. Just no. Don't post that. Please don't post that. Depression doesn't get to win. It doesn't. I know it's hard. I'm not speaking as someone who's never experienced it. I'm speaking from experience because I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with mental health problems. I've dealt with anxiety. I still deal with anxiety a lot since this happened. Lots of trauma responses. Depression doesn't get to win. Never. I don't care. It doesn't get to win. I will hold your hand. I will talk to you till I'm blue in the face. I will stay up with you all night. We will fight it. But depression doesn't get to win. And I would have given anything at some points in my life to be able to have somebody who had that knowledge and ability to stand there with me and say. And I'm blessed because I do have that in my family. But there were times in my life where I didn't realize what I was going through. And it was not diagnosed. And I did not know what it was. So, long video. Real video. Real talk. Real talk, people. Real talk. Depression doesn't get to win. Situations don't get to win. It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And you can say all you want, you don't know my problems. No, I don't. I say all the time, you don't know anybody else's journey. But I know that somebody will walk with you through it until you can see your way through it. I know too many have come out of it. So let's make a choice today that we're going to live, and we're going to live for a better life and for a better mental health. And crochet is part of that for me. And let's see if we can make a difference. So I'm going to get some kind of charting system so I can chart where they come from. If you still have questions after all the babble that I have given you, I would be more than happy to answer those. If you want a longer discussion, you need to discuss about something that's happened to you, my door is always open. Not a therapist, not a counselor. Always willing to listen. Definitely an encourager. We'll share my story. I'll share every bit of it. I have nothing to hide. I'll share the ugly, but I'll also share the beauty. And there's been a lot of beauty from it. God makes beauty for ashes, right? Brings beauty for ashes. And He turns everything to good for those who love Him or are called according to His purpose. And I believe in God's goodness over top of the bad things that happen in our life. So don't forget to be kind, because and if you want to know more, or if you want to participate and you still want more information, the email address is in the description box down below that you can reach us at. Also our address where you can send hats or whatever to. And if you want to start an outreach in your area and you want some tips, send me a message. We'll help you do that too. We'll give you some information on what to do. Bye.
Bye.